Good morning. This is the time and place for zoning cases hearing for August 14th, 2013. My name is Bradley Collin, and I will be conducting the hearing as a hearing officer. We have one case scheduled for today, and all the relevant exhibits are posted on the panel located directly behind me. If you wish to speak, please write your name and address on one of the speaker forms, these green forms, which are provided at the front door and submitted to our planning assistant. I would like to also inform everyone the official proceedings of the planning hearing officer hearing are recorded on tape as part of the public record. Notification of this hearing was accomplished by the use of public notices, which were mailed to property owners and occupants located within 500 feet of the subject property, physically posted on the site in question, and placed in the local newspaper. The application before us today is an application for a conditional use permit to allow the on-site sale, service, and consumption of alcoholic beverages at an existing full-service restaurant, which is located at 2345 Honolulu Avenue in the CR Commercial Retail Zone, described as a portion of Lot 319, tract number 1701. Under the provisions of Title 30, Chapter 30.42 of the Glendale Municipal Code, a conditional use shall be granted if four of the required findings are present. They are, first, that the proposed use will be consistent with the elements and objectives of the general plan. Second, that the use and its associated structures and facilities will not be detrimental to the public health or safety, the general welfare, or the environment. Third, that the use and facilities will not adversely affect or conflict with adjacent uses or impede the normal development of surrounding property. And fourth, that adequate public and private facilities, including utilities, landscaping, parking spaces, and traffic circulation measures, are or will be provided for the proposed use. In addition, every discretionary decision made related to the sale, serving, or consumption of alcoholic beverages, the following criteria shall be considered in making the findings in subsection A through D above, which I just went through. I won't go through those at this time, but there are 5 additional criteria that are required for conditional use permits. The hearing is going to proceed as follows. The case planner will make a brief overview of the case, give an analysis, make a recommendation. Then the applicant will come forward stating both the name and address, will be asked to present the case within a 15-minute time limit. Others in support or opposition to the application and interested parties will be asked to come forward to speak, given a 3-minute time period. And lastly, the applicant will be given the opportunity to make any closing comments if desired in response to testimonies given by preceding speakers. And that'll be a 5-minute time limit. The hearing will then be closed and the case either taken under submission or decision may be made. If the evidence presented in the application at the hearing meets the criteria that I just went through, the first 4 findings and the second 5, then the hearing officer can either approve or impose conditions for approval on the case in question. If the findings of fact are not evident, the request will be denied. This time I'd like to ask our case planner to give us an overview, please.
Thank you, Hearing Officer Collins. Joselitos is located on a 7,375 square foot rectangular shaped lot. A 2-story, about 8,000 square foot building is built on the front property line. The building currently has 2 occupants, Joselitos Mexican Restaurant and Montrose Travel. Joselitos occupies the west side of the building with about 3,000 square feet of interior floor space, and Montrose Travel occupies the east side of the building. Joselitos' hours of operation are Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Alcoholic beverages are available for on-site consumptions during these hours. There are 10 non-conforming parking spaces and non-conforming parking lot landscaping located behind the building on the upper level. The striping of these spaces does not match the current application proposed plans, which show 12 parking spaces. However, the proposed parking plan appears to be in substantial compliance with approved plans for a previous standards variance, case number 8629-S. Additional nearby public parking is provided across the alley in city parking lots 4 and 6. We did have comments from the police department, suggested conditions, and noted there was no information submitted that would preclude the reissuance of the conditional use permit for this location. The fire department submitted comments that the applicant comply with fire department inspection corrections. Staff believes that the findings, which can be found in the staff report, can be made for the conditional use permit and recommends that the request be granted. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
A quick question regarding the previous variance, and maybe this is a question for the applicant. But the number of spaces that are out there, is that something that's going to be restriped, or does it need to be restriped in order to comply with the variance?
Staff is recommending that the conditional approval that the parking lot be restriped for 12 spaces, although they'll probably have to comply with ADA requirements, so they may lose one parking space
Okay,
as a result.
So that's something that was made as a condition of approval.
Correct. Staff is recommending as a condition of approval that it be restriped.
Were there any other conditions from the previous variance that, other than the parking, that have not been?
I believe the trash enclosure would also be a conditional of approval. That was a condition of the variance. That was not in compliance.
Okay.
That it be enclosed.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to go ahead and open up the public hearing. I have one speaker card from Mr. Ramon Baguio. You can please come forward, state your name and address for the record.
Thank you. Ramon Baguio, 4273 Canoga Avenue, Woodland Hills, 91364. May I begin?
Please.
Thank you very much for hearing our case today. I'm a representative of Joselitos Restaurant, and my feelings in this are pretty self-explanatory in one word, and the word especially applies to Montrose is family. And in every one of my findings that I've reiterated in our application from A through D, it's the word that I always come back to. Is the proposed, first off, the actual restaurant has been here for decades, since 1981. So is the proposed use consistent with various elements and objective of the general plan? Yes, it's a continued. There's not going to be any changes construction-wise or square footage-wise. So because of these non-changes and the fact that it's going to continue to run as a restaurant as it has been, no, it doesn't pose. It will be consistent with those. And B, the proposed use and associated structures will not be detrimental to the public health. Again, I reiterate that this is a family restaurant, and its primary purpose will be to remain that way. I believe it continues to be a vital part of the community. It has no record of disturbances, and its health grade in terms of health, the health department has remained an A. Will the proposed use and facilities not adversely conflict with adjacent users or impede the normal development of the surrounding community? No, it never has and will continue to be so. And D, explain how adequate public and private facilities such as utilities, landscapes, and parking and traffic circulations measures or will be provided for the proposed use. Again, note that existing facilities, parking, and landscaping will remain as is, but as discussed before with Mrs. Duarte, the client will be working together with the landlord to restripe and provide the trash enclosure as part of one of the conditions for the conditional use permit. I'd just also like to, I think this is important to note, the biography of this particular place. The restaurant was started by Jose and Myrna Grijalva. Grijalva, first in Burbank, California. It was a dream of theirs to open up their own business, and for them it was a labor of love. This wasn't necessarily something where, okay, we're going to make a lot of money. They knew that there had to be a lot of investment in it, and so it remained that primary interest to serve the community first before the idea of financial gain. In 1980, they took a trip to Montrose, fell in love with the community, and decided this was going to be their next place of restaurant. And after finding the perfect location where they are right now, they opened up their doors in 1981. Joselitos has been a fixture of that community ever since. Corey's mother was active in the community, where she served as president of the Chamber of Commerce and later as the president of Montrose Parking Association. And then Corey started working in the location in 1993 and has been running the Joselitos Montrose location since 1996. Myrna and Jose retired in 2011, and at that point Corey, their son, has, along with his staff, been carrying on the tradition of making the community full and happy. Joselitos has never shied away of being a part of the community, and Corey has stepped up now and currently serving on the MSPA board as well. It should also be noted that Joselitos has always abided by the condition of past CUPs and will continue, obviously, to diligently address all conditions. In closing, I'd like to say that the strength and vitality of any community is based on the strengths of the families that inhabit it. Joselitos is a prime example of not only a family-run, but also a family-serving business that goes beyond simply being a financially successful enterprise. The establishment has proven itself over the years to be a vital and intrinsic participant of the community. Its interests are in the interests of the community as a whole, and its continued success translate to the continued strength of the neighborhood. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you for that. Does the applicant understand and agree to the conditions of approval as recommended by staff?
Yes.
And you'll work with staff, as mentioned, regarding the compliance with the variance for the parking spaces and the trash enclosure as conditioned?
Yes, we have.
Okay. I have no other speaker cards, so at this point I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing. Thank you very much. Didn't want to? Okay. Public hearing is now closed. Based on the findings recommended by staff, facts and information presented at the hearing today, and the information provided from the other departments, I am going to approve the subject conditional use permit, subject to the findings and conditions as outlined in the staff report. After the hearing, the decision will be prepared in writing, will be the form of a letter sent to the applicant and to all persons who responded to the public notice, either by speaking at this meeting or submitting written responses, and have provided their name and mailing address. The date of the decision will be today's date, August 14th, 2013. Under the appeals provisions of Title 30, Chapter 30.62 of the Glendale Municipal Code, the decision may be appealed to the Planning Commission within 15 days of the date of the decision. Anyone wishing to appeal may obtain forms and brochures on the procedures from the Building and Safety Section, Permit Service Center, located on the same floor, room 101. And this concludes the meeting. I thank everybody for coming, and continued success with the restaurant. Thank you very much.